Assalamu alaikum. Good evening to everyone and welcome to this first ever virtual British Army Iftar. Before we begin, I would like to read out a short message from the Right Honourable Ben Wallace, MP, Secretary of State for Defence. I'm sorry I can't be here to virtually break bread with you today, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity of wishing you a Ramadan Mubarak as you mark these important days. It isn't the way you would have wished to break your fast, but I have been struck by the fact that in the midst of lockdown, we've discovered an even stronger sense of team and community spirit. As Her Majesty the Queen herself said, our streets are not empty, they are filled with love. There are some striking parallels between our Muslim community and the British Armed Forces today. Our military personnel have been busy supporting hospitals, social care services and delivery networks. But so too have you. Mosques have been producing PPE, Muslim charities bringing meals to the needy and supporting the elderly. Imams have organised virtual iftars, and Muslim Armed Forces personnel, regulars and reservists, have volunteered with the NHS to help lift their load, proving beyond a doubt that together we are stronger and unquestionably a force for good. So thank you for all your immense efforts during this difficult time. When we look back on lockdown, I have no doubt we'll see it as a period when we truly opened up, widening our circles of friendship whilst binding our great communities even tighter together. Once again, Ramadan Mubarak.
I'm really grateful for everybody for accepting the invitation and coming and joining us. It just shows and demonstrates the strong bond and the strong relationship that the Armed Forces Muslim Forum and the Army has created with the Muslim community over the years. We've had nothing but open doors from the Muslim community, whether we go to mosques, whether we go to community centers, whether we go to community activists, everybody wants to engage. Sometimes it's a difficult conversation, but it's important that we're having that conversation, and the conversation is happening between two equally very misunderstood components and elements of the Muslim community, of the British society. So it's not just that the armed forces are misunderstood. We fully appreciate that in many cases the Muslim community is misunderstood too. So building that bridge, having that dialogue, having that conversation is extremely important. And the work that you have done in helping us promote and build those relationships is invaluable, and I'm extremely grateful for all the effort and support that you put in.
I can only imagine how difficult it is with the current restrictions, not to be able to get together as you would probably want to with loved ones and family and the wider community to break bread and to celebrate Iftar each evening during Ramadan. So thank you for taking the time to join us. You'll be aware, I know, that the armed forces have been very closely involved with supporting the nation's fight against COVID-19. And I'm sure you're also aware that protecting those populations and providing national resilience in our communities in times of crisis at home is one of our key roles and always has been. I'd also like to recognise the very significant contribution of Muslims during World War II and of course today. You'll be aware that we've worked very hard with you and with other key people in the community to really try and publicise and properly recognise their service and their sacrifice. And we really hope that the contributions of all faiths and all beliefs to the freedoms we enjoy today can perhaps be properly publicised on VJ Day now on the 15th of August. Through today's crisis, there are some wonderful stories and examples of community cooperation, and none more so than in the Muslim community. It's therefore particularly upsetting that extremists continue to seek to exploit the lockdown to demonise our Muslim communities, and that they continue to try and align themselves with the armed forces. I'd like to take this opportunity very publicly make it clear that such extremist and Islamophobic opinions in no way represent those of the armed forces, and they're the very opposite of our key underpinning value, that of mutual respect for others. The British Army leadership philosophy is defined by our values, our morals, and our ethical foundations. It is shaped by shared purpose, mutual trust, respect and empowerment at all levels. And if you get these building blocks right, then leadership and the wider organisation will continue to be successful and sustainable during crisis. Here we are now with people whose faith directs that they should think about their beliefs and have that period of reflection where they don't eat during daylight hours. That is a commitment and a sacrifice that I think is if not unique, very rare. And I think, you and I have discussed this in the past, and there aren't many people who are so committed to their faith that they would make that sort of sacrifice in a world where often people think about themselves first rather than what it means to be part of a community and a faith and a belief and properly articulating those things. And it's really interesting, and I'm in no way as learned as you are, but in my small study of the faith, I see that coming through, and it's really interesting. And if you haven't been involved with the community, and it is a wonderful community, that would be counterintuitive, I think, which is really interesting, where you see people trying to drive a wedge between these communities when they're actually an interestingly natural fit together.
In a few seconds, Corporal Joe will recite the Adhan, which will mark the breaking of the fast for those in and around London. And for the rest of you, please follow your local timings. Once you hear the Adhan, please feel free to log off. But from me, a heartfelt thank you.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعثه مقاما محمودا وآته حلا له الشفاعة يوم القيامة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. It's hugely appreciated.